It may be Election Day, but both sides of Proposition 8 are still out there campaigning tonight, trying to sway voters. 29 Eyewitness News reporter Jose Gaspar live from Southwest Bakersfield with a look at this last-minute effort. Jose?
Kurt, Proposition 8 is clearly the one that most voters, most people have the most passionate feelings about. Now, that's the one that defines marriage as only being between a man and a woman in California. Now, let me get out of the way here. We are in Stockdale in California, and as you see here, we have a group mostly of Yes on 8 supporters. They've been out here throughout most of the day and just about three corners out here. Now, this campaigning will go on all the way until the polls close tonight. She stands alone in the as a bride. But Sarah Bird Lewis feels passionate about passing Proposition 8. She's out here to convince last-minute voters to see things her way.
Not everybody's voted, and there are people that are probably undecided about whether they're going to vote or who they're going to vote for, and I had an opportunity to express my free speech in a respectful way, and that's what I'm doing.
Standing kitty corner to her is Tracy Yvonne, also dressed as a traditional bride, to drive home their point, she says.
So we wanted to embody the traditional marriage, attire, so.
Other Yes on 8 supporters campaigned on Stockdale in California, which has been a hotbed of activity for activists on both sides of the issue. But are voters being swayed by this last-minute campaign?
I already know what I'm going to vote, and, I have my own ideas.
So how do you feel about Proposition 8?
I'm going to vote no.
How come?
Well, I think they have rights, just like everybody does.
On the other side of the issue, opponents of Prop 8 took their message directly to the polls, passing out information to voters as they went in to vote at the fairgrounds. Opponents say they're battling against a misinformation campaign.
There's been so much kind of misconception going out there about what this proposition is. The other side's put out so many misleading statements that we just ask people if they have any questions, and a lot of people do. And a rally's great, but it's not a way to answer people's questions about this. People want to know, will this really affect my children? Will this really shut down the churches? And we're out here to just tell them the facts.
Do they sway how you will vote?
No. They don't change my mind, because it really is supposed to be between a man and a woman. But if you love each other, you can still be married without going to the courthouse and getting married.
And back live once again here as we are in Southwest Bakersfield. Obviously, people, like I said, have passionate feelings on both sides, but whether voters are being swayed, well, we heard from a couple. One said, no, they both said, actually, they already had their minds made up. Kurt, you know that the polls close in less than 2 hours from now, but throughout most of this day, people have been out on the streets, trying to sway voters one way or the other on Proposition 8. Now, we are in the corner of California and Stockdale, and right now there is just one lone person out here with a Yes on 8 sign. A little while ago, actually about less than an hour ago, there were many more people out here in yes of favor of Proposition 8. Like I said, they're trying to get the message out until the polls close. If you haven't voted today, you have less than 2 hours to do so. And of course, the most controversial proposition on the ballot, Proposition 8. Well, Kurt, here in Kern County, supporters and opponents of the measure were still out on the streets on Election Day with signs trying to sway voters. Now, this is the one measure that has drawn the most passionate response from those on both sides of the issue.
I feel that marriage should be between anybody who actually love each other. It shouldn't be decided on whether it's a man or a woman.
I don't think that they should teach gay marriage in schools. But then again, I'm kind of iffy on it, because I don't have a problem with gay people being married. It's not my life, it's their life. If they're happy that way, they can be happy. But I'm just against it being taught in schools.
And as expected here in Kern County, there's really no surprise. Prop 8 is leading with a hefty lead, but we still have a long way to go statewide. And this one, so far, is a close one. We'll continue to watch it for you. Live in the newsroom, Jose Gaspar. Kurt, Lisa, back to you.
Jose, thank you.
Yeah, Mike, the saying goes, desperate times call for desperate measures, and each side of Prop 8 is desperate to try and pull swing votes their way. I got a chance today to see just how each side acted in their plan of attack.
Yes, on 8!
No matter your age, those who were for Prop 8 lined the corner of Stockdale in California today. Then things got interesting. No on Prop 8 demonstrators came to mix things up and demonstrate on the same corner. what started off as a proposition battle then started to sound like fans at a sporting event.
Yes, honey! Yes, honey!
Hey, they're getting angry.
Emotions began to reach an apex on each side, and that left voices ready to sound off on the hot button issue.
It's very important for us to be out here to defend our values about God, family, and country. We put all those before anything else.
I'm out here to support equality. I think we should all be equal. Nobody should be hating on what we love, what we believe in.
I believe that we should all be equal. I think everybody should have the right to get married. We're all people too.
It's been a stated fact that a man and woman are married. That's how marriage is consummated, only from a man and a woman.
A central Bakersfield man is causing quite an uproar over a sign in his front yard. ABC 23's Central Bakersfield reporter Carl Mandick caught up with the man today to get an exclusive interview. Carl?
Yeah, Jackie, from honks and shouts from people traveling by in cars, Mickey Collins hears it all the time. Collins, who lives on the corner of Plains and Hughes, donned some very eye-catching lawn fixtures.
As far as I'm concerned, our country is in distress beyond description. And I'm hoping that by having the flag upside down, it is generating a big interest. How can they find that offensive? It says a queer thing happened last night. Someone stole my signs. That's not degrading anybody. It's just saying a queer thing was out of the way.
All right, so Collins in his yard has an upside-down American flag, which he uses to show a country in distress. That's his perceived take on it. And in fact, a lot of old war veterans still use that. Now, there's the sign dawning saying, a queer thing happened last night. Someone stole my yes on Prop 8 signs. He said he's had 3 signs stolen in the past week. He had 1 stolen last night. So decided to put that one up, and it was just a ruckus crowd out there from honks, as I mentioned, and shouts. Very, he's caused just quite a scene out there.
With loud protests, allegations of sign stealing, even punches being thrown, Prop 8 has been one of the most polarizing topics to hit the California state ballot this year. ABC 23's Carl Mandick has been tracking the polling numbers all night long, and he also spoke with people from both sides of the debate tonight. Carl?
Yeah, Jackie, let's start off with the up-to-the-second numbers we've gotten into the ABC 23 newsroom for Prop 8. Now, when I spoke to Whitney Waddell of Bakersfield LGBTQ, she was just happy as of, at the time that Barack Obama had been elected president. That was kind of their mindset at the time. When I visited their party earlier on this evening, she was worried about something happening like what happened in Prop 22 back 8 years ago when it was an absolute landslide. Now, let's take a look at the Kern County numbers that have popped up. It is 76% yes, 24% no. That's with 48% of the precincts in. So those yes on 8 backers getting out there, hitting the polls. I spoke to Chad Vegas. Ken Metler was heading to that camp where Chad Vegas was and caught up with both of them. And this is what they had to say.
It is nice to be a part of something where we really have put up an honest and real fight, and we did the best we could. And, we have said everything we needed to say, and now you're just waiting for the people to speak about what they think about that.
It looks really good, and the fact that Sacramento County is 56-44 is a good sign, because usually Sacramento County and the statewide results are usually pretty similar, and so I'm hoping that holds, and that's what a statewide result looks like.
Now, when I met up with Chad Vegas at his camp, those numbers had just come down. That was about 25, 30 minutes ago. So obviously his camp, very happy to see that. We will have more on this later on in this 10 o'clock hour-long broadcast. Reporting in the newsroom, Carl Mandick, ABC 23.